Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. All right, I know this looks bad. Let me just play you guys this quick clip, 14 seconds long. That looks bad, right? Doesn't it look bad? Well, watch. If you zoom out, and this is coming from the cryptic poet here, when in doubt, zoom out, guys. This is the Bitcoin trend over the last decade plus, and so keep that in mind. Look at where we are now. Whoops, let me just put it there to the end. Look at where we are now compared to how much bullish momentum Bitcoin has seen over the last 13 years or so. I can't really tell, it's pretty blurry. Can't really tell how far back this goes, but clearly the early days of Bitcoin. So yeah, you start out on a daily chart or an hourly chart and that trend looks pretty bad. But as you zoom out, guys, you can see the direction we're going is clearly in the right direction, namely up. I know it's kind of tough when we're seeing Bitcoin price slump and many of the other altcoins as well. Their prices are slumping, just kind of following the market. The good news is, although Bitcoin is trading at 42,400, at least as of the time of this recording, the rest of the altcoins are by and large following Bitcoin. So Bitcoin down just about 1%. And we can see, right, the rest of the coins not performing too terribly well. We have Cardano and XRP. They're up a little bit, but we haven't really seen an altcoin season. Bitcoin dominance still at 39.9% this morning. It was at about 40%, so it's still kind of hovering around that critical level of support. Anyway, I talked a little bit about this bearish correction and some reasons for that. If you guys didn't catch the video I did yesterday, I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner. I wanted to keep moving because Wrath of Kahneman posted this. D-Money, a Ripple partner, are empowering the gig economy. And so even before the beer flu pandemic changed the world of work forever, there was a trend towards greater reliance on freelancers. In fact, now they make up 35% of the global workforce. That's about 1.1 billion people. Unsurprisingly, that number has been skyrocketing during the pandemic with a growth of 24% recorded in just a single quarter at the height of the lockdowns. And so this article just goes on to talk a little bit more about freelancing and the structure of payment. As a freelancer, myself, I'm a videographer, a video content producer in my real life, even aside from YouTube videos. It's sometimes kind of difficult to try to get clients to pay you. And so, it's nicer when there's an easier solution for both parties involved. And, there's less excuses as to why clients are not paying. For their employers, freelancers are often able to provide consistent results at a significantly reduced cost. Savings can be made on all the expensive perks that full-time employees get, like medical insurance, snacks in the break room, bonuses, pensions, and so on. But there's also this idea of international freelancers, right? Now that we are working in such a digital world, you could be a freelancer in a different country. And so then how does payment work in that case, especially if you are using different currencies? Well, enter D-Money and, as an extension, leveraging XRP to transfer, let's say, Thai baht to Canadian dollars, just as an example. So, maybe a corridor that isn't too frequented, but, with an exotic corridor like that, you can get that liquidity by using RippleNet. And so, we're seeing many of these different Ripple partners like D-Money being able to find little kind of niches where it's like, okay, freelancers that work abroad, that's kind of a good segment of the population that we can help out. And so boom, let's help these guys get paid in Canadian dollars from perhaps a Canadian business. The Thai freelancer can charge them. The transaction will go through running on Ripple and, Bob's your uncle, as they say. Down here real quick, fortunately, FinTech has delivered such a solution, specifically those firms like D-Money that specialize in cross-border payments and remittances. They are able to handle payouts in local currencies quickly, transparency, and with lower fees. So just as I have mentioned. The other thing too, right, we got to remember companies like Uber and DoorDash and all these kinds of gig economy companies that pay out a lot of their freelancers worldwide. They are definitely going to need, right, a solution like RippleNet, utilizing XRP to source liquidity in order to pay different freelancers in different currencies all around the world. Think about it. Think of how many freelancers Uber has, for example, people who drive cars in many different countries, and they got to pay them in the currency of their country. So in this example, we're talking about D-Money helping freelancers, but there are so many more applications for that. Wanted to thank the Wrath of Kahneman for pointing that out. I also saw this, guys. This is just from CoinDesk here. The Drone Racing League zooms into the Metaverse, bringing pay to earn to the Algorand blockchain. So the league's partnership with Playground Labs will be the first play-to-earn competition of its kind on the Algorand blockchain. For those of you guys invested in Algorand, this might be of interest to you. Competitive drone racing is joining the play-to-earn party. The drone Drone Racing League and Web3 game developer Playground Labs have tapped Algorand's blockchain to create the first play-to-earn drone game in the Metaverse, announced by the league on Wednesday, which was a couple of days ago now. The details for the game itself have yet to be determined. A representative from DRL told CoinDesk it will look to the game's community to determine what style of gaming. So more information just about the particular drone gaming league and how they're actually going to set up the actual race. Of course, they talk about GameFi, which refers to an emerging subsector of the crypto world where gamers are rewarded with digital assets that carry value beyond the confines of the particular title, as it is often the case in mainstream gaming. Well, the details are still to be worked out. The league said players will race DRL drones, presumably digital ones, for cryptocurrency and non-fungible tokens on the Algorand blockchain. So utilizing Algorand, in this case, looking at the Metaverse, looking at this particular drone racing league. And so we know gaming, for example, a very, very big industry. And, if we are going to see a lot of this being put on, different types of blockchains like Algorand, of course, that would ultimately mean that we are going to see more demand for that algo token. So for those of you guys interested in those WEF tokens, the WEF, World Economic Forum, love them or hate them. I think most of us don't really like them too much, but they are proposing a new world with their Great Reset initiative. They have outlined certain tokens that I personally think we should be paying attention to. Of course, they're not interested in Shiba Inu, guys. They are interested in tokens that solve real world problems, Algorand being one of them, XRP, of course, XLM, Solana, Cardano, and CeeLo. Those are the 6 that they outlined particularly in their June 2021 report. So I think I'm going to keep my eye on those cryptocurrencies moving into 2022. I want to keep going, guys. This with regards to Ripple partner Worldline. So this coming from Matthew Liny here on Twitter. Ripple partner Worldline completes a strategic partnership with Accepta Italy. So Worldline, the European leader in the payments and transactional services industry and the number 4 player worldwide, announced its acquisition of Accepta Italy. Effective January 4th, Worldline has taken over 80% of Accepta Italy, the merchant acquiring entity of BNL in Italy. This partnership is a significant step in Worldline's strategy to enhance its scale, reach, and direct presence in a growing number of countries in close collaboration with leading local banks. So Worldline, guys, we've got to remember, and if you don't remember this is from a few years ago now, I believe it was 2019 when they put this out, ensuring the success of your blockchain project. Right in here, Worldline says Worldline is a partner and recognized contributor, Ripple, etc. These guys are already partnered with Ripple and have been for a few years now. And I'll link this document in the description if you want to read further. Again, an older document, but just kind of demonstrating that partnership that they have with Ripple. And they've significantly expanded their merchant services footprint in the Italian market, whose continued growth is driven by a steady adoption of electronic payments. Accepta Italy is one of the largest Italian acquirers with about 200 million acquiring transactions, one per year, 5% market share in MSV from a 220,000 point of sale acceptance network. So those are just some of the statistics there. Accepta's highly diversified and loyal customer portfolio of about 37,000 merchants will be integrated into Worldline's global merchant service customer base. So more growth there for Accepta, of course, now partnering up with Worldline. So a Ripple partner, partnering up with other partners, tertiary, secondary, tertiary partnerships moving into 2022. We saw that in 2021. It's going to be big in 2022. So more utility on the XRPL once we start really seeing this come to fruition. And Stéphane Hubert keeps knocking it out of the park here. He posted another couple of tweets. Let's bet that the settlement that will come is including the condition that Ripple may sell XRP from escrow only to accredited investors. So there's this idea, right, that there's the escrow XRP. The SEC is now saying, you didn't sell the XRP legally. And Stéphane is saying, I bet you that the settlement will include XRP sales to accredited investors only. And the reason he's saying that, guys, is because of this. This news seems small at first glance, but it is not. This is the clearest thing the SEC has said about digital assets in years. And so he retweeted out his own tweet here, which is up here. This is big. I have read hundreds of SEC documents and never once has there been any mention of selling to accredited investors. Okay, this is a big part of the case, right? Gary said, come and talk to us, but this is the first time they state in a public statement that there is a way to sell tokens legally to investors. So guys, this is very important to note here. Here's part of the document from the SEC Securities Exchange Commission released just yesterday, January 6, 2022. SEC charges ICO issuer and founder with defrauding investors. So this has to do with another case. Sproul told investors that the ICO proceeds would be used to develop a new technology that would enable Metavine Inc.'s existing application development software to run on a decentralized network of users' own computers. Instead, Crowd Machine and Sproul began diverting more than $5.8 million in ICO proceeds to gold mining entities in South Africa. So just giving you guys some context on this. A use that was never disclosed to investors. And so their criticism here is right down here highlighted by Stéphane Hubert, without determining whether the underlying investors were accredited or not. Okay, so this means that the SEC definitely does hold some value to an accredited investor. This deals specifically with cryptocurrency and ICO, and they're saying they did not sell this particular cryptocurrency to accredited investors, and that was part of the problem. So, putting two and two together here, and I think Stéphane Hubert is on the right track. Could this settlement hinge on an idea that Ripple moving forward can only sell tokens to accredited investors? And so let's talk about accredited investors for a moment here. And let's tie that in to Valhil Capital's buyback request from the Fed. We're not accredited, guys. We are retail XRP holders. So let me just bring you guys back to this video I did in September of last year, guys. I'm going to play you a clip with regards to Valhil and them drafting up an agreement for the repurchase of XRP from the Fed. Well, guys, there's also this from James Rule XRP. Don't think you have soaked this in yet, XRP Army. Let's make this go viral. So this is a tweet out from Jimmy Valley. Now, I know there are a lot of people in the XRP community that are criticizing this already. I'm going to get into it. I want to talk to you a little bit about what it is. If you guys are not familiar, this is a confidential committee resolutions to approve proposed terms for the purchase of XRP from participating token holders. So this is basically some legal jargon here. Now, let me get into it. I won't get into it too deep. So it's a term sheet, proposed terms for the purchase of XRP tokens from participating token holders. Insubstantially, the form attached here to the proposed terms and determines such proposed terms to be acceptable to a reasonable, prudent XRP token holder, and such members of the confidential committee have determined it to be necessary, advisable, and in the best interest of all potential participating token holders as defined in the proposed terms, that Valhil Capital LLC, which is the company, together with its members, managers, directors, officers, subsidiaries, and affiliates, called Valhil from here on in, take certain actions to submit the proposed terms to the relevant parties set forth in the proposed terms in order to implement a proposed transaction as defined in the proposed terms as quickly and expeditiously as practicable. That's a lot of legal jargon, but essentially what they are stating here in this, if you are part of this Valhil company, that they are willing to purchase your tokens at a later date from you. So now, I mean, there are a lot of questions here. People down here saying, unless someone can tell you where it's from or who wrote it, I'll just consider it FUD. This coming from Ropes88 XRP, James Rule XRP here saying, I assure you it's real. Now, James Rule does have a reputation in the XRP community, so I want to believe that he would not want to tarnish his reputation. Joker King down here saying, Rule, I hope you didn't do this as a stunt because it's a nothing burger without an explanation. And James Rule just continuing to assure everybody down here that it is real. He isn't saying much more than that. Johnny Bravo saying, why does no one want to explain what this actually means? Post and repost with zero context. Essentially, the Valhil company making a legal agreement. I mean, they've gone out of their way to create a document here that says these are going to be proposed terms for the purchase of XRP from participating token holders. They obviously want to purchase XRP from the participating token holders that are on their platform. Now, I don't know much about Valhil, but apparently they are a company that does this. Here's an article from October 2020. Valhil Capital announces the launch as the next evolution of private equity under President Scott Minnitt. So Texas-based mergers and acquisitions pro Jimmy Valley announced today the launch of Valhil Capital LLC and the hiring of veteran multinational operations and international trading notable Scott Minnitt as its president. The firm will focus on investments in innovative and emerging companies companies, brands, and alternative asset classes. So kind of an outside-of-the-box fund for big institutional investors, it sounds like. Prior to joining Valhil, Mr. Minnitt was executive vice president of a natural resource company organized under the Dubai International Financial Center in the United Arab Emirates, where he led a team to oversee the physical and financial trading of crude oil, natural gas, coal, biomass, metals, and other commodities. So he does have experience here. The company is fairly new, and they do likely see, here's the retweet out from Jimmy Valley himself, they do likely see the potential in XRP. However, the XRP community still not buying it here, thinking, what the heck is this? A lot of people are just confused what the actual meaning is. Can you explain this in simple terms? So, I did just explain it. Looking to repurchase your XRP. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. Again, this was back from September of 2021 when we were all just kind of wondering, how does this relate? Why would they do this? And even just the other day, I did a video where, people are still talking about this. Why would they buy our XRP at $10,000 to $35,000 when they could buy it now at 80 cents? Well, guys, maybe this is why. Coming back to Stefan Hubert's tweet here, with regards to the SEC lawsuit, now they are stating very, very clearly that maybe some of these cryptocurrencies should be sold to accredited investors only, which would mean they've got to get it out of retail's hands. 2 months ago, I also did this video, guys. I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner. Basically, Jimmy Valley saying it is done. Congratulations to all. So he did submit the paperwork 2 months ago now, possibly prepping for this SEC verdict. Perhaps a settlement that would include that the digital assets from here on in only be sold to accredited investors, which could mean that the Fed would have to buy back from retail. It certainly is a possibility. I want to hear what you guys think, though. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.